I think that's very relevant, the new versus existing. You talked about your fax strategy, your beeper strategy, your phone strategy from before, but the in vogue metrics, from a finance side is your CAC versus lifetime value, which is very much that new customer focus. So from what I hear, the mix of your media, depending on your customer segmentation, one being educating your customer, forming a relationship, which might be more costly, might be higher impact, higher cost ads, might grow your business, while reminders, emails, maybe those more affordable ways of reaching out to customers are with your existing. And I do think that this CAC to lifetime value metrics is overvalued for marketers because it does cost money. And this is something John and I talk a lot internally about, is getting an existing customer to convert again still sometimes requires reminders and ads, and they're not free. And that's unless you're locking into a Verizon contract, or if you're locking into a life insurance policy, applying them across all industries is a little arbitrary or extreme.
Well, I mean, what I've found is that's a shortcut that folks have done that I can't get on board with. If you have a company like L'Occitane, I'm under no obligation to ever buy there again. So they're going to keep marketing to me. And the question was, should they use email or should they use direct mail? But in the finance, in the counting of this, I've seen too many companies ignore that spend and just count all the spend against acquiring new customers. And I just don't think that's the right finance for running a marketing P&L, to say, like, I spend all my money to acquire customers and everyone else comes back for free.
I completely agree. I mean, so some people, and I think the 90s kind of marketing folks were very much on, hey, it costs so much more to acquire a new one than to retain one, with an over focus on retention. I think a lot of times, in this century, we have an over focus on acquisition, and then just thinking we don't have to remind anything. Very quick example from outside my research. So Vanguard, the big investment company, they started doing a lot of online display and reminders and so forth. And so there's a very fun board meeting that is captured on video. They're looking at the dashboard. I'm teaching dashboards, and I typically show this one. And it's the CEO saying, hey, this is interesting. Like, all of these things we're doing out for customer acquisition, right? 65% of the applications is from our existing customers. How on earth is that possible? And of course, it turns out that as a marketer, you think that your existing customers know your whole portfolio, but they don't. So this kind of these online ads, existing customers was like, oh, I go to this investment and banking company for one service. I didn't know they also did X. And so sometimes, these reminder things are fantastically